Hello, hello. Matt. Oh, am I on? Yep. Hello. Sorry, I just already said hello before the video had even started. My name's Comrade Kit, and I'm going to show you the best blooded build in Fallout 76 past level 50. And it's what I believe is to be the best. It's a great build. It's a great all rounder, and survivability is 110%. 110% from my experience. I'm going to go through the setup, the build, the weapons, the armor, everything you need. No rubbish, no misleading information, nothing. I'll show you everything step by step what you need to do this. This will take a while to build. This build I've done here took me around about a month of grinding to get to the perfect point. It's hard, but you can do it, and it's honestly, I'm level. What level am I now? I am level 751 now, and this is the only build I've ran for the whole time. It took me to about level 100 or something until I got the build absolutely perfect, but it's worth the grind, and it's worth having. And I've seen many blooded builds on the YouTube channels. A lot of them are out of date now, or they're still versatile. I'll put one in this description as well. It's the build that I started out with until I made my own. That build was fantastic. I'll put the link in the channel below in the subscription. But that's the intro. So let's get started. Okay, first off, as you can see on this build, I have extremely low health, and start off with that will increase carry weight and damage over time. So I'll show you. About 25% health. As you can see, I've bumped up specials with this as well, but I'll show you how to do that next. The gun I am running, let's start off with weapons. I am running a Bloodied Fixer. Where is my Bloodied Fixer? There we go. So let's have a look at the weapon and inspect the weapon. Damage increase up to 45% as health decreases, currently plus 94. So with the Blooded build, being at 25% health and below, you'll do increased damage overall. See, the current fixer I'm running now has plus 50 chance to hit a target in facts, 10% chance to generate a stealth field for 2 seconds. Stealth field, I don't really think it doesn't really pop. It's never been great for me. But there's better versions of this Blooded Fixer, but this is the one I have currently running now. All Blooded Fixers have different perks, different ways to go do things, but the thing what doesn't change is the 100% sneak, the stealth, and the damage increase up to 95%. That never stops. That will always be there in a Fixer. It's the rest of the perks that you want to be better. Now, there used to be a Blooded Fixer back in the day, in the early days of Fallout, but that's been phased out by Bethesda. So all fixers are versatile for this build now, but the Blooded Explosive Fixer was the most versatile gun of all. But this is the gun you're going to be sort of looking for in your legendaries. You can just keep re-rolling a fixer, build a fixer at level 50, and just keep re-rolling until you get the Blooded build. And because it's called the Fixer, you won't know it's Blooded until you go into current mods, or when you drop the weapon, you'll know it's a Blooded by damage increase as your health decreases. But this version of this Blooded Fixer works really well for me for this build. So yeah, let me know what fixer you're carrying at the moment on this build, if you ever do this build. Let me know. So let's move on to the perk setup. The perk setup is the most important part of all. This is everything you need to have. It's the most important part, which is going to be running mutations as well. And I'll run you through the mutations that you need on this build to increase your survivability and damage output. So let's start off with strength. I'm not going to spin it off too quick, but we'll start out with strength, and I'll keep the cards up as long as possible so you don't have to keep pausing the video and going back and forward on what perks I have. So we'll start off with, I'll go quiet here and I'll just run you through what we're having. If there's anything I'll explain any perk cards that need explaining as go along, but I'll show the rest. If something doesn't really need explaining, it's self-explanatory, I'll leave it at that. So let's begin with strength. I've put 7 points into strength. I've got traveling pharmacy. The reason I have that is to decrease the carry weight of stim packs. Because you're running on low health, you will need stim packs, but that's for an emergency case situation. Its survivability is 100% on this build. Sturdy frame, throwaway, just decrease the armor's weight, gives me more carry weight so we can carry more bullets and materials as I go along in my adventure. Now the most important part is perception. See, I've got perception to 15. I'll show you how I've managed to get the perk cards 15, 15, 15 as I go along. But that's the legendary perks. Legendary perks come later. Now, obviously, on this build, I've got all the commando cards on. All the commando cards are for the automatic rifles. That increases damage. That is absolutely crucial that you have all commando cards on. Expert, commando, and master commando. Now, let's run through the rest of the perks on perception. I've got ground pounder. That's just for reload times, much faster. You can blitz through enemy herds, major packs of enemies within a breeze, easily. And it has better hip fire as well, so if you're just running and gunning, perfect. I've only put 2 stars into that one though. That's all it really needs, because I'm already getting a lot of damage from Master Commando, but this is a very nice perk card to add on to Perception. Now, Tank Killer. This is very important. Tank Killer has to be max stars. This will go through armor like nothing. It doesn't matter how strong the enemy is. They can be wearing power armor. You can do PvP. This is a great build for PvP as well. It will just ignore the armor by 36% at stage 3 of the stars. You have a 9% chance to stagger. It really throws your enemies off. As you can see, so the only other 2 different cards here are Ground Pounder and Tank Killer. The rest is Commando. Max all Commando out. Oh, sorry. And Perception, I have Concentrated Fire. This is for fats, for targeting limbs in fats. Sorry. I find this just a quality of life feature, really. Concentrated Fire. Just so I can always be guaranteed to hit the head and do maximum damage on the head. There's no issue with hitting any other limbs on with this build. It's just I'd rather go for maximum damage on the head and clear the enemy out as quick as possible. Now let's go to endurance. This is a crucial part as well because we're running on a Bloodied build. So we're going to be running a lot of radiation. There's a particular card here that we need to increase our strength, carry weight, and survivability. So let's start off with Life Giver. Life Giver, simple card. Plus 45% health. That's all I need to say on that. Max stars. Ironclad. So you only put 2 stars in this. This is also a bit of a throwaway card, but I need the other cards I've got in endurance at the same time, so I'll put it up to 2. This is just gain plus 20 resistance to damage and energy while not wearing power armor. Blooded builds, you don't really need to run power armor. I don't know why people run power armor, but everyone's got the vice. Chems. Chems last up to 8% longer. I have chems on because I run a lot of XP buffs, buffs for stats, and intelligence as well. I use a lot of chems for that, just to increase my chance of gaining more XP. That's just my personal choice though. If you like to gain a lot of XP, I would recommend using the chems that increase your intelligence and having chem finder up to level 2. Next is Fireproof. It takes 45% less damage from explosions and flame attacks. This is mainly because of grenades, rocket launchers, Scorch Queen fights and stuff. But I've seen a lot of other people use fireproof on this as well. So that's just all round. I've just kind of copied this one from other people's builds, which is perfectly fine. I think a lot of people run fireproof, but I'll put that to 3 stars. Radcool. Radicool is the most important perk in endurance. You need to have this on because you're on a low health build. The greater your rads, the greater your strength, max plus 5 strength. That absolutely boosts your strength to the maximum. You can be running a 530 carry weight just with this card alone. Plus the armor that I'm running as well. And crucial for a Bloodied build, you need to be running Radicool. Make sure you have this on. So let's just run through them again. Fireproof, Chem Fiend, Ironclad, Life Giver. Last but not least, Radicool. Charisma, throwaway perk setup. Just use it anyway. I have my personal preference is Field Surgeon. Stimpact and Runaway will now work much more quickly. That's important, especially on a low health build, that to be used quickly. Stranger in Numbers. This is for Mutations. Again, I'll run through why you need to have Stranger in Numbers on for Mutations. It increases their strength by 25%. That's the positive effect, by the way. Tenderizer, sorry. Make your targets receive 10% more damage for 10 seconds after attack. Extremely important. 3 stars, especially the build we're running. Always have this on. Nerd Rage. Now, Nerd Rage. While below 25% health, gain 20% damage resistance plus 10% damage gain. This is wrong at the moment, so let me just adjust this for you. You need to make sure you have Nerd Rage plus 3. So as you can see, while below 20% health, gain 40% damage resistance, 20% damage, and 50% AP regen. Very important card. Very important card. This will absolutely increase your damage rate to anything in this game. The damage you deal will be extreme. It's very important card to have on. Please put this card on. I'll show you all the proof to why this build is so important and why I believe this is the meta for Fallout 76 right now. Just look, 40% damage resistance. Nothing is going to touch you at such low health, and when you are touched, it's just because you're in a very unfortunate situation. So let's go to intelligence. So remember, Nerd Rage and batteries included. Agility. I have Action Girl. Action points regenerate 45% faster. True Hiker. Food and drink ways are reduced by 30%. I just throw 1 star in this one because I carry a lot of food and stuff. Just for perks and being well fed. Well fed is also important for this setup as well. You don't always have to be well fed. You can still do absolutely brilliant damage even if you're not well fed. It's just for XP mainly for me. Sneak. So this character is obviously a sneak build. You don't have to be a sneak build, but the damage does increase if you do sneak kills with this character and this build. Range attacks do an additional 50% sneak attack damage. That's mainly for the Fixer. The Fixer is a sneak damage weapon, but as an all-round weapon, just to damage enemies and kill mobs, it's perfect. You do not have to sneak, but sneak just makes life a little bit easier. But it's not important. Remember that. It's not important, but do have it on. Kung Fu. This is fat swapping. This is another quality of life perk card. Fat swap targets on kills with plus 10%, 30%, then 60% damage to your next 3 targets. Very important. Please put it on. Adrenaline gained plus 10, max 6% damage for 30 seconds per kill. Duration refreshes with kills. Fantastic perk. Fantastic perk. killing mobs is lightweight with this perk. Lightweight. And you get through mobs as quick as anything. Very easy. And let's go to the next one. We'll go back through. Adrenaline, Kung Fu, Covert Operative, True Hiker at 1 star, remember. Everything else will go down to 3 stars. And Action Girl. 3 stars for that. Let's move to luck. 15 on luck. Now I'll show you how I get the high stats for all of this through the legendary perk cards as well. And I'll show you what perks, what points you need to put in first before you add in the legendary perk cards. I do Bloody Mess. The 15% bonus damage means enemies may explode into a gory red paste. Again, bonus damage. Fat Crit Rolls, again, plus 75 damage. Please put it on. I only placed 2 stars into this because it only maxed out to 15 on the luck. But again, Fats, big damage. Serpentity. While below 30% health, gain a 30% chance to avoid damage. And this is what I'm talking about. Damage resistance. Avoiding damage, never dying. This is a great setup for that. Fantastic setup. You won't be disappointed, I can promise you right now. You will not be disappointed with this build. Next up is Ricochet. Again, avoiding damage and deflecting damage. Perfect. And it deflects back the damage they're causing you back onto themselves. So again, survivability. 110%. Class Freak. Negative effects of your mutations are reduced by 75%. Absolutely important you put this on because you are going to be carrying a lot of mutations. Starch Genes, you will never mutate from Rad, and Radaway will never cure mutations. This is to guarantee you keep mutations at all time. You need the mutations. So let's go through. Starch Genes, Class Freak, Ricochet, Serpentity, Better Criticals, and Bloody Mess. Now let's move to Legendary. Legendary, I have all the maxed agility, endurance, strength, intelligence, luck, perception. Now let's go through again. And they are all at rank 4. You rank up your legendary cards through perk points. You get perk points from selling off your other legendary perk cards, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. And I have a whole section for how to gain perk points, so you can level up your legendary perks, and that will come next. As you can see, at max level, it's plus 5 agility, plus 5 agility perk points. Perk points cap at 15. I have this all the way across. For perception, luck, intelligence, strength, endurance, agility. That's the end of the perk cards. Now I'll show you how to gain perk points. Perk points. So if you have a card, let's go for Shotgunner, and you want to gain a perk point, you're like, I'm never going to be a shotgun build. So what do we do with this card now? We're going to get rid of the card. So on the options button on the PlayStation, you're going to click it. You're going to want to strap it. Now, the 1-star perk cards are only 2 points. As you can see, mine have gone up to 80 now. Let's find a 2-star somewhere. Grenada. You'll get an additional 4 points to this. Let's not get rid of that one. I kind of need that one. Awkward. Rejuvenate. Let's go for Rejuvenate. And you get 4 points for that. And for a number 3, let's find a 3-star. It is Glow Sight. And you'll get an additional 10. As you can see, it will build up over time. It will build up. And you'll use that to gain additional ranks to your legendary perks. And this buffs everything. That's how you can have this build. Having these legendary perk cards is how you can build this legendary perk cards. You need to have these in order to have the rest of these perk setups. And I'll leave the screen on for a moment. Hopefully you're done reading that. That is the perk setup for this Bloodied build. As you can see, another death from above. What should we do next? Let's do Mutations. Now I'll leave the as you can see there, the DNA symbol. I'm going to leave the Mutations on. I think my explaining is not too great, so I'll leave all the mutations you need to get and have on this build. You can find many mutation videos out there and where you can get the mutations. Mutations are random, but you can also buy them from any store. Not any store, but you can buy them from the Enclave, and you can buy the recipes anyway. But a lot of people do sell the recipes and the drinks for these mutations, so go around the shops. But there's a lot of great videos out there who will show you where to get these mutations, and I'll try and link them in the description as well for you. It's just I don't have them right now, so I'd rather seek another video to get these mutations, but I'm just going to show you right now what mutations you need. So you need Adrenaline Rush, Adrenaline Reaction, Bird Bones, Camellia, Eagle Eyes, Egghead, Electrically Charged, Empath, Grounded, Healing Factor, Herbivore, Marsupial, Plague Walker, Scaly Skin, Speed Demons, Talons, Twisted Muscles, Unstable Isotope. I'll go back to the top, just so you can read. And there you go. Now let's move on to the armor. This is the long part, and I'll be honest with you, this is the awful part. Basically, this is going to take a really long time. The grinding for this was tedious. But as you can see, I have all unyielding Secret Service armor. Unyielding is a perk for the armor. Again, I'll link a video in the description, a random video, and where you can get Secret Service. Secret Service is a massive grind. You'll definitely need to finish the story to get Secret Service armor. You're going to need so many legendary perk cards. You need to do the very first DLC for the game, where you go and get the gold. And that's how you can start collecting Secret Service. And as you can see, the special part about having unyielding Secret Service is gain up to plus 3% to all special stats, excluding endurance while health is low. Mine is currently 3%. That is massive. That is massive. That boosts my stats to the top. Again, it all overflows and blankets each other because that helps everything else grow. What I mean by that is that it boosts all your stats, all your perk cards, everything. Your build is completely boosted through just having unyielding on. But you can wear any armor with this build. I do say that you can wear any armor, but the true potential of this build is not revealed until you have all this armor, all the unyielding Secret Service. You have Secret Service unyielded on any piece of armor, but to get them absolute best quality of life, best experience from a meta build, it is having unyielded. It's perfect. Plus 3% on arms. Every piece of armor is plus 3%. Damage resistance, energy resistance, radiation resistance. It is fantastic. It's fantastic. This is fantastic armor. I never have to worry. It's just perfect. I love it. The other perks are completely optional. It's completely up to you. You can keep rolling until you get the perks you want, but always make sure you have the unyielding. I'm still rolling unyielding at the moment just to see if there's any other decent perks I can get, but at the moment I'm extremely happy with this build. Let's just see my stats. Look, just have an unyielding on. Plus 23, plus 25. And you can boost these higher and higher and higher with food. But I'll leave it there. But that is my build. I hope it helps you. Yeah, and I know my explanations aren't always great, but hopefully you can look through the video and ignore my crappy explanation and just set it up. And for the rest of the video now, I'll do a showcase for you on what this build can do. And I'll leave it there. Let's go.
Going to be a good fight.
As you've just seen there, you've seen the potential of this build. I was barely touched as well. I made a minor mistake. I didn't repair the drum before I started the battle, but it is what it is. But as you can see, you're just walking through everything. Literally walking through